Anderson Cooper 360. CNN weeknights at 8 and 10 Eastern.
We begin tonight with breaking news on the growing likelihood, that's the exact quote, the growing likelihood that Israel is going to hit Iran's nuclear program and hit it soon, possibly within months. A top source telling us Defense Secretary Leon Panetta has come to just that conclusion, that there's a growing likelihood of an Israeli strike. And this first surfaced in a column by the Washington Post's David Ignatius. The news is breaking on a day Israel's defense minister warned that Iran, which is building nuclear facilities deep underground, may be close to rendering an airstrike too difficult to work. In other words, a window of opportunity may be closing, and Israeli forces could take action before it does. Also today, a senior Israeli official telling the New York Times that the Iranian Revolutionary Guards have been working on missiles that could reach the continental United States from Iran, ICBMs. And this week also saw congressional testimony that Iran may answer growing American pressure on it with terror attacks on American soil. Now remember, too, this confrontation is playing out between U.S. warships and Iranian gunboats in the Strait of Hormuz, a key oil transit route which Iran is threatening to close. It's also playing out on the diplomatic front with sanctions. The question tonight, though, will Israel give sanctions time to bite? And what will America do if Israel decides to act? The implications in a moment. Also remember, there have been a number of Iranian nuclear scientists who have been assassinated in Tehran by unknown assailants. First, the very latest from Chris Lawrence at the Pentagon. Chris, what other details are your sources telling about this apparent growing likelihood of an Israeli strike on Iran?
Well, Anderson, they're saying that basically a number of intelligence factors all sort of came together that led Secretary Panetta to conclude that Israel could strike in, say, April, May, or even June. He also says that basically the thinking is that Israel has concluded that Iran has already made the jump and is thought to be pursuing the bomb. He also caveated all this by saying Israel does have a history of making some very provocative statements like this in order to sort of push the West, push the U.S. into taking tougher action against Iran.
How would a military strike actually work, and how effective could it actually be to stop them from making a bomb?
Yeah, I talked to a couple sources on this tonight, and they say basically it would involve Israeli fighter jets either going through Saudi Arabia, trying to thread that needle between Syria and Turkey's airspace, or just crossing over Iraq to deliver their payload. But some of the sources I spoke with were skeptical because they said when this has worked, it's been done in a very concentrated area. That's not like Iran's program. Iran's facilities are spread out over a very wide area. He also said there are probably, given the time length that Iran has been working on this, a lot of facilities that neither the U.S. nor Israel knows about. And he said the biggest part of the problem could be that although you could knock out the facilities, you don't take their know-how. In other words, Iran has the knowledge of how to enrich uranium. You don't take that away.
Which is probably one of the ideas, if in fact Israel or the U.S. or some other country is involved in the assassination of these scientists. That's probably part of that idea. Chris Lawrence, appreciate it. Thanks to CNN's Barbara Starr also for her reporting off camera on this.